Okay. We're recording. Go ahead.
Okay, so now I'm gonna get into the birds. Um, because this is another thing that's driving me nuts. You have all these people, I'm not even gonna say names, but they're talking about the birds like there's something new. Really, all of them go to the secret temple when they go to sleep, and they know it, and they work for the covens, and they're putting out complete disinformation. The birds have been here forever. That's why you see them carved in stone. That's why you see bird symbolism everywhere. The phoenix, the eagle, any bird symbolism is them. They've been running the show for a very long time. And
Wait, the person you're referencing, is he saying they just arrived and they're new?
yeah, they're trying to
Oh,
say
he's
that
saying
there's
they weren't
some
here before? They just got here?
yeah, and he's
Oh,
trying
that's
to
his
say
message? Yeah, I think he does say that. You're right. Yeah.
they don't want to talk to the elite. Well, it's because
Yeah, it's
they
kind of
are
odd,
the elite.
but they chose him as a spokesperson.
Yeah, they
Somebody who
are
was
the
a
elite.
he
They
was
don't
a
need
what's that military program when you go back in time and you're a
a
soldier?
secret space program.
Yeah, that thing, and you're a MK Ultra thing, or I don't know what they call it, something I forgot what it's called. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah, those guys are spreading nothing but deception, and I know it now. Bird people don't talk to the elite because they are the elite. They've been here for a very long time.
That one species. There's you have to clarify. There's more than one
Yeah,
species of bird beings.
there's
There's
more
the
than one.
Egyptian. There's the Egyptian ones that you see the carvings of, and they are actually, if I remember correctly, they're actually more of like a ninth dimensional species. And they also the cat beings. The Sphinx was another species that came here a long time ago. I learned this in my. I am a QHHC practitioner, quantum healing hypnosis therapy practitioner. So I've gotten it from a couple of my clients that this the sphinx was actually a cat-like feline species, and yes,
Yeah,
that's there to adorn them for the all the good they did, and they did a lot of good on the planet. But then they pretty much left a while back, and they're like a ninth dimensional species. Those bird being guys, they're way up there. They're different. They're malevolent. So a lot of those things in the Egyptian stuff you see is actually malevolent, believe it or not. But of course, there is some wicked stuff as well. But
yeah. Well, the ones I don't know. I just know they're pushing this reptilian thing on purpose, and they keep the birds hidden on purpose. And really, the birds I'm talking about are they shapeshift just like the reptilians, and a lot of them are I don't know. I'm not going to get too into that. I just want people to realize that the reptilians are just one thing, and really
yeah,
they're being thrown on under the bus for a reason. Um, Other ones are being hidden, and
there's a lot of
honestly,
different species here. I mean, I've seen personally
uh,
at
I've
least
seen
10 different
tons of them.
species, minimum 10, that I've met in person.
Yeah, I've seen tons, and honestly, most of them have not been bad to me. Most of them,
Well, yeah, because I mean, what good would it do? They're either good or they're trying to coax you into doing something. Either way, as the
yeah,
Bible says, come like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
yeah, exactly. A lot of them, if they hold up that two finger salute thing, anything with two fingers, that's the Covenant of Zazzle sign. But
Is that what it is?
yeah. And the Temple of Set. They want to keep your sun set. Because then, if the age ends, you go to Set and you restart this whole thing completely over. But,
Yeah.
um, yeah, but I do want to, like, most of them, when I see them, they just observe me. Um, it's almost like they know I won't mess with them unless they mess with me, type thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing is really crazy, and there really is a good side versus a bad side.
There's a duality here. It depends what realm you go to. There's different realms,
Yeah, my
different
situation.
dimensions, different realities. They're layered, and
Yeah,
depends what
and
you
my
want to look at and talk
situation's
about.
different. I have to put that on the record. My situation's different because I have been nothing but a nuisance to the ones that are doing stuff that my heart doesn't agree with. So I kind of have a very crazy situation.
Well, you've just been exposed to more things than most people have.
Yeah.
Is the bottom line, and I can vouch for you. You have, and he is speaking the truth, and he experiences reality just As you can imagine, Harmony experiences reality a little different than most people. So does Brian. Which is probably we get along so well because we'll experience things independently, and it's funny we don't talk about it right away. She's like, what, 2 weeks, maybe a month later. Sometimes we're like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll talk about something and that's been going on for weeks, and like, oh, I should have told you in the beginning because that same thing happened to me, and we start comparing notes. It's amazing how much similarities.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's so much similarities. And here's the thing, a lot of the stuff does not work unless you believe it. Like they'll
well, that's why they kill your imagination as a child. The first thing you want to do is snuff that right off the bat, right?
yeah, exactly,
It's
because your
not real.
imagination
That's pretend. That's your imagination. Who did not have an imaginary friend? Sorry, your imaginary friend was fucking real.
yeah, and your imagination's part of the inner sun that they want to get to set.
Without imagination, what are you? You're grounded in this reality and you're logical. And imagination, is belief. Belief and faith comes from imagination, if you will.
Yeah.
And then it
And
comes from your heart, as you talked about earlier. And then you have to engage the heart. And it's the heart that becomes the expression of reality.
yeah, and it's like you need to use your imagination to really affect reality. And they know that a time is coming where people have the opportunity to raise their inner sun and really start waking up. And that's why they're making the world insane right now, because that keeps you pulled into this reality. It's very entertaining. Politics is doing a very good job keeping people so pulled into it, because that's keeping your focus on the outside world so you don't go inside where all the magic happens.
Yeah.
It's all a
Well,
huge game.
well, now that I'm a QHHC practitioner, I spend all my time doing sessions. So I get to live in a different realm. Every time I do a session, it's wonderful.
Yeah, that's a good thing though.
It's amazing.
Because so much of the stuff that we're presented with on a daily basis here is absolute useless nonsense. You have games, which no matter who wins the game, it doesn't change anything in reality, really. Like
Well,
nothing.
in reality, we already won, and they're throwing in the everything, the kitchen sink, the bathroom tub. They're
Well,
doing everything.
I mean, they keep your mind occupied, like with football, because really that has no result in anything, or reality TV because it's completely fake and it keeps your mind stagnant, or politics, which is useless arguments that there's never going to be a winning side because they have it rigged. Um,
That's true.
because they know in politics the real way to get anything done is to meet in the middle, and that's why they have it extreme left and extreme right, so nothing gets done, and they just bounce you back and forth like a ping pong game.
Very entertaining
It's very entertaining.
for
Yeah.
some.
Here, 1 second, I'll be right back.
All right. Okay, we're recording again. Another brief pause in the session.
Yeah, yeah, the whole thing is all one big machine that they have set up for a very long time, and it's starting to drive me nuts because it's almost like, and you could probably vouch for this, once you get to a point where you see a lot of this stuff, a lot of the average things people are saying drives you nuts, especially because it's set up so that if you try to tell them the truth, they won't even believe it.
Well, I guess I've risen above that. That doesn't bother me anymore. It did at one point in time, and I do know what you're talking about. I do validate what you're saying. It's very true, and I understand how you feel. I just
Yeah.
choose not to let it bother me anymore.
A lot of times it doesn't bother me, but lately it's been bothering me because I've been getting, okay, I'm somebody that is, what was the word they used? Pretty much I'm unchained. So I can access a lot of areas. I can go back and forth without any issues. I can go places where they can't go. So they tried to like get me to go places for them so that they could
Follow you.
yeah, well, just get information out of me when I came back, and I told them no. So I've been such a nuisance that when I go to sleep, they immediately set stuff up so that they could bring me to their little lair so I don't leave and come back type of thing. So recently, they've just been being complete. I go up there and I don't even want to say it's messing with me. It's not, but they're pretty much um they're being nuts and they're um I don't
Well,
want to.
when you go to sleep at night, don't you put up a picture ball of energy around you, protect you?
Oh my God, yeah, I do. And I get through most nights, but they find weaknesses and stuff. I mean, they're
Yeah.
completely on me because there's a lot of stuff that I'm not saying.
Well,
Um
did
ab-
you have some smoky quartz crystals or organite in each corner of your room? That's
yeah, yeah.
good.
I have all that, but they know my abilities, some of which you've seen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
So, like they're really um
They're on you.
yeah. I'm like
Yeah.
one of the main people they're on. And then
Well, I think when you listen to my self hypnosis, that how you should probably picture, besides all the protection, the energy you put up before you go to sleep at night, picture a tunnel above you, a good one, and your higher self, and get connected and create this huge tunnel between, get connected to true source God creator, higher self, you, and all three, picture this cord coming down into you, protecting you. That might
yeah.
help.
Well, the thing is, I'm still protected when they take me, and my higher self is letting it happen for a particular reason.
Yeah, well, you can go there too if you want. So we can spy
Yeah.
on them and learn what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean
That's
that's
the funny thing. It's like everything they do to us. Like, don't you know everything's recorded, and we're learning what you're doing, even though we may not remember as human beings. Our souls are being recorded. Our higher selves get the download the next day of everything that happened. I mean, everything they
yeah,
do to us. We're aware of it.
exactly. And they tried so many tactics on me. Like in the beginning, they made me think that it was demons and stuff, and then it got like they overplayed it, and I like was not getting scared at all anymore. And
Yeah.
then they got really mad because the one time I they like made me think I was in a bed and there was a demon coming. It like came at me, and I was like, "Screw this thing! I'm not scared of it anymore." So I got up and walked to it, and it was completely a computer program. It was a hologram. It was a complete hologram. And when people see them here, it's usually one of those people like in a costume. They do it to keep you in control. Now, I'm not saying that would be the case with all of it, but in my case, whenever, and then once I started standing up to that, they were like, okay, that won't work. So then they started the whole um, girl thing. Like you can have all these girls and stuff, but I didn't want them because I knew it was part of the game. You know what I mean?
It's just another game, another room.
Yeah, because that was another way they could try to distract me. It was another room, and then they switched to, oh, let's pretend to be this guy's friend. But they were so awkward, you could tell they hated me. It's like somebody that comes up to you and um somebody that you like know is obviously pretending to be nice.
Hmm.
And then I started telling them like I don't want to have anything to do with you guys because they all sit up there and they drink Corona. They love Corona, and it has to do with the crown. They think they're the crowned ones. It's all a whole mocking thing. So they sit up there and they drink and they party, and I think that's what they get paid in, honestly. And I was like, I'm looking for spiritual growth. I'm not trying to, when I get to these layers, be at a big party. And by the way, you guys shouldn't be controlling other people when this is what you do up here. It's not what it's set up for. So when I started calling them out on that, all of a sudden they tried to start dressing like church people. But even that, it was like so obvious that's not what they were. And then I told you about the time when they brought me to the beach. But this was like a house by the beach, and I confronted them. They made me think it was my family, but I knew it was not my family. And I made one of them shift right in front of me because I can. do that. And they call the one guy was so mad, but I asked him what beach it was because I was like, I'm not at the beach. This isn't the beach. And they told me it was AI beach. They pretty much told me I was in an artificial intelligence simulation that they set up to make me think I was at the beach.
Yep, it's true.
So the stuff gets really crazy.
It gets old.
It does. It gets so
It
old
gets old.
because it's like one people here that are still. I don't like calling them asleep because that's not the thing. They're just not aware yet. Um,
It's a nice way of putting it.
yeah, they're not
They're just not
aware,
aware. Yeah, it's true.
which I wasn't at one point, and you can't blame any of the people because that's what this program is set up for here, to make sure you don't become aware. Um, but I kind of broke through the hypnotism, and I started seeing a lot more, which was part of my plan anyway. One of the reasons why I came here, but you start seeing it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it, and it answers so many questions. But it's one of those things that you need to see to really, like, I can't, even if we made a video explaining all of this stuff, one, it seems so unbelievable, and two, it's one of those things that you just really can't fully grasp until you see it.
It's true. You almost have to see it. I call it Wonderland.
Yeah, it
It's
really is.
Wonderland.
One of the layers definitely is Wonderland. I
Yeah.
have so many stories from that place. um I might as well just, no, I don't want to tell them because some of them I just don't know if it'd be good if it, eh, I don't really know. But okay, well, the one night I was brought to, I call it the first parallel layer, and when you're there, you think you're here. It looks very similar to this reality, but it's the one layered on top of here where people are usually hypnotized, but I break the hypnotism. And I was in my driveway and people were fighting. Somebody was trying to stop me, but I had protection. You know, I guess you would say friends of mine came in and they were fighting. And let's just say I saw more of what's really in the sky.
Yeah, I got that from my sessions. The human eye can look up and not see what's really up there because of this like TV screen they got going on.
Yeah. And like in front of the sun was this huge, um, it was crystal shaped, but it was actually metal. It's like, do you know that shape of a crystal?
Mm-hmm.
But this was like, imagine metal bars bent into the shape of the crystal that follow the same lines as a crystal, but there's like really nothing in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a metal cage, but in a crystal shape. And then in front of the moon, there was, it was round. And that's all I'll say about that.
Well, I got from my QHHE sessions that they're hiding the moon. That
Oh, yeah.
what you see up in the sky is a hologram. That's why Crow 777, the famous moon wave,
Yeah, the lunar wave.
the lunar wave, yeah,
What we're
you
seeing
know,
up there is not solid.
yeah,
And
and
really,
they talked about the sun. There's sun shields in front of it because they're blocking it. They don't want the sunlight to come through because it carries a frequency, and that frequency will wake up the DNA in human beings, and they'll become awake. So
oh my God, yeah.
they have to shield the natural rays of the sun from reaching us because right now it's highly energized and delivering a beautiful message, and it's the most powerful at the sunrise and the sunset, and that's why they chemtrail the most at sunrise and
Yeah.
sunset because the natural rays can still get through at that time. So, and then they got chemtrails and all kinds of stuff. You look up, you can't see what's really up there. You can't.
No, you can't. And you're
Cameras help a
hypnotized
little bit,
not to
but
see it too.
mm,
It's hypnotism. But also, they're getting desperate because a lot of the light keeps breaking through and it's high frequency. And that's why they're setting up this 5G grid around everything out of nowhere. Like, no and if or buts. It works on the same principle as like Bose headphones, how you set up something matching and it like deletes the sound outside, you know?
Noise cancellation.
Yeah, they're
White noise.
trying, yeah, they're trying to set up artificial high frequency to block out the high frequency coming in.
Right. So the purpose of the 5G is to match the frequency and counteract everything that's good that's coming in.
Yeah, and it also kind of goes on brainwave lengths too, and it's a way that they can another way they can hack into your mind.
Well, that's why they want them so close to your homes.
Yeah, people have no idea how easy it is for them to really get into your head already. They don't even need. I don't even know if I should get into all that.
Well, I made a couple of videos on it
Yeah, yeah. But basic, I don't know.
because in my sessions, I had a higher self describe, the chemtrails is like the World Wide Web, and there's nanotechnology that comes out, and there's AI living beneath your skin, and it connects to you like Wi-Fi, and it can change thoughts, it can change behavior, it can wipe out memories, replace memories with the new download. I mean, they can do a lot.
Yeah, and
And they
another
basically
thing.
said the TV's obsolete. They don't need TV to program you. They don't need the radio to program you. This person's I heard from a couple higher selves that all that technology is obsolete now. They
Yeah,
just
they don't need it.
they're just they're Wi-Fi'd into most people's brains right now.
Oh, 100%. And
Hmm.
another thing, I have to give one of our friends credit for some of this. He'll know who he is, but I don't want to say his name just in case um, he doesn't want his name out there. But basically, you know how they do the grids and patterns across the sky?
Yeah,
It's because of how every light breaks down into that lattice. You know, the different shapes, the lattice.
yeah,
So whatever light they need to block, they try to match that lattice pattern in the sky, like it's gonna, it obviously does something. So when they're doing
hmm.
diamonds, it's for a certain light color. When they make them squares, it's for a certain light color. I mean, there's just so much. Plus, there's something in what they're spraying that allows them to see some of the beings in the sky. That's why if you really look close at the clouds, you'll see numbers, you'll see faces, you'll see all sorts of stuff. It's like an oil layer they're creating. You know, like the holy oil they use to summon things. That's why it's like a rainbow. It's oil. And then if they need to, some of the orbs you see in the sky is the oil pooling up there too. Because oil is a great refractor of light. That's why if you get an oil slick on your driveway, it has a rainbow.
No, there's no doubt. A lot of those rainbows are just chemtrails.
Oh yeah. And it's part of their whole thing. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I'm trying to think of more that I wanted to say, but it's all been so nuts because literally I don't know if I should get into the screw it, I don't care. They all go to this place called the Secret Temple. When they go to sleep, it's not like when we go to sleep. Well, it's like when I go to sleep and you go to sleep. They actually go up there to the secret temple place and they make all their plans. And they do it under the covenants. And I can describe what this place looks like and everything because they brought me there and tried to convince me of things, and I said no.
Yeah, recruitment day.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to do any of this because everything you're doing goes completely against my heart. I was like, you mean to tell me that you guys have been meeting up here this whole time while people are suffering down on Earth, and
Hmm.
you guys just come up here and laugh about it
Pretty much.
and like write your play for the next day? And I was like, and you guys want me to join this? I was like, no, this goes completely against my heart. And they hated me from that day on because they were like, this one's going to listen to his heart.
Yeah, well, I told you about the day they tried to recruit me, didn't I?
Yeah, and that was good because like the same thing happened with
Well,
me.
well, now people are probably wondering. Well, real quick, basically, a couple of my neighbors came in that have been friends of mine. They're friends and neighbors, and it was recruitment day, and they threw this massive energy into me, and it felt all peaceful and everything. And I, they're all smiling, and I felt wonderful. It was the most amazing feeling ever. But then I started analyzing. I said, "Well, this is sixth dimensional technology, and you have a portal open above me, and you're just flooding me with six dimensional energy, try to make me feel good." They got pissed off. They're like, "It's the eighth dimension." I go, "Well, fine, call it the eighth dimension, but this is just trickery, and you're trying to get me to join you. Big deal. You showered me with a bunch of feel good." So what? And they got all
Yeah.
mad and they're like, he didn't go anywhere. And they got all pissed off. And they're like, and the one guy goes, come on, won't you join us? And I'm like, well, no, because you're evil. And
Yeah.
the other one goes, he still didn't go anywhere. He still didn't go anywhere. I can't believe it. We thought he'd go somewhere.
You see your cord, the cord that comes out of you,
Yeah.
it's connected to something good. It's connected to the good thing. Their cords are connected to this artificial,
Technology.
yeah, artificial technology, and it makes them kind of
Mm.
like a hive mind. And some people are connected to this and don't even know it. That's why if you're, say you have like a big live chat or something going, and all of a sudden all these people start turning on you like in unison and they start spitting the same stuff, it's because they're getting information fed to them from this artificial thing. It's
Mm.
connected into them, and some people don't even know it.
And that's what trolls are, for the most part.
Yeah, and that's why they need you. That's why they need your sun, your internal sun set, because then you're still under the mindset that all of your thoughts are your thoughts. Because the way they control you is implanting stuff in your head, and the people that are not in the know think it's their thoughts, their idea, but it's not. Every one of us are like antennas. We're like,
We are like antennas.
we really are antennas, and some of us are still connected to the, I don't even know what to call it, the good thing, the real thing, and other people,
True source got greater.
yeah, the creator. I'd call it the creator. Um,
I just say true source God creator covers all bases. Some
yeah,
people don't like God, some people don't like creator, some people don't like source. I'll just throw in all three. True source God creator. There you go. Make everybody happy. They're
yeah,
just words, people. We're talking about true source,
we're
the creator
connected
of
to the
everything.
kingdom. We're
Yeah,
connected to
the kingdom of God.
yeah. Well, it's really like the Garden of Eden. And then the serpent came in and tricked us to fall down here. And this is the Garden of Eden, where you're being ate by them. They're eating your energy.
Oh yeah,
And
they're energy vampires. We're nothing but batteries to them.
yeah,
They don't care about us. They have no remorse. They don't care about our feelings. They don't care about who we are. As long as they can use us, they will use us, and we're nothing more than batteries. And when we're used up, they will throw them out. And just like we throw garbage out every day, we'll throw the garbage out, and that's what they think of us. We're just a battery, and they use it up until they're done, and they throw you away.
yeah. And they just make you run around in circles the whole time. And when people start realizing something's up, they'll just make stuff crazy. Change politics up a little bit. They'll do.
Yeah,
And
it's an insanity game. Keep you. It's like that rat, that mouse or rat on a wheel, spinning round
yeah,
and round and round and round. That's the whole game. Keep you
yeah.
spinning.
It's a huge,
Keep you running, going nowhere, and spinning out of control.
yeah, keep you on the wheel.
Keep you on that wheel, man. Why they have a ball.
Exactly. They're all up there partying,
They're
and then
partying. They're doing drugs. They're having sex. I'm sorry, people. We've been to the higher evil realms, unfortunately,
yeah,
and we've seen what they do when they're done playing with
people
us.
like people are constantly looking for the Illuminati, which the
Hmm.
Illuminati's putting everything out on the internet that people are even reading about them. So it's all deception. The symbols and it's all deception, and you're never going to find anything on the truth here because they're really meeting in the next layer
Oh,
up
they're
of
in the sixth dimension at least.
yeah,
They have this. They have their own layer of reality. I call it the negative six, and they also have a seventh dimension maintenance deck. So there's people running around the seventh dimension, not a whole lot. But they're like the stagehands running around, taking control of the sixth dimension, the fifth, and here on Earth. And there's this party realm, and it's at the sixth dimension, and they party, and they have this other realm where they meet and have their evil plans, and they do everything at the sixth dimension, people, and that's why no one can catch on to what's going on because it's not happening here in the physical. It's not
yeah,
happening. These you think they're running around having these secret meetings and killing people and this and that. Sure, that happens, I guess, but what's really happening is in the ether realms, the
yeah.
astral
And the
realms.
funny thing
Mhm.
is, this is another thing I want to put out there. One, they keep putting out this fifth dimension Earth, which is already deception because we're already in and aware of 5D, but
Oh
they
well,
don't.
it's been around for a long time. A couple of my clients have confirmed that fifth dimensional Earth has been there before this Earth, and it's still there, and will continue to be there. So it's really not a new Earth. It's always been there.
But the one they're trying to guide people to is
It's the
not.
fake one, yeah.
Yeah. And first of all, okay, this is new information that I got that you'll like. Um,
Well, hold on one second. All right, we're recording again. Sorry for that interruption.
okay, so you'll find this funny. We find out new information and you know how these things operate and you'll be like, "Oh my God, that's so them." Especially like Ashtar and all these people channeling. They have if you saw what these people were really channeling, you would just die laughing. Like, how am I listening to this thing? But they're the ones that started pushing this whole 5D thing. And it's deception right from the beginning because we've had access to 5D this whole time, but they don't want you to know about it. So right now, they have us, we have up, down, left, right, time. So people say 4D, some people say 3D, some people say 4D, but they keep us dumb through language. What they always leave out is that you can go inside and outside. That's the fifth dimension when you go inside yourself. So you've been in 5D this whole time because you
Oh
go
yeah.
inside yourself already. So they're sitting here spewing this whole 5D thing and they're saying, "Oh, it's going to be another 45 years until," and they're just laughing about it behind the scenes. They just talk. It's not that hard to talk and act like you know something. And that's what they do. I mean, those whole like Ashtar and all those people, I don't even know how to explain it. If you saw what there's a reason why they hide their face or they paint it behind something with blonde hair and blue eyes or something like that. Um,
Is he the guy that wears that leather suit and speaks in German accent?
I forget. So many people
Well, I don't
talk
really
about.
listen to channels, so
No, but I mean, like, if you
the
listen to
only
like,
channel I ever listened to was Bashar. He entertained me. I
yeah, and
I
Bashar,
still don't know what to think of that guy because he's well. Just put it this way. What I always say to tell a lie, there has to be 90% truth. It's
yeah,
at
and that's
ten
what they
percent.
do.
It's at 10% they'll get you. So I mean, I listen to the guy and I'm like, so much of this is true, but then every now and then I'm like, huh? Wait a minute, I don't
Bash-
agree with that.
Bashar is just a Wonderland guy. He even talks like some of them.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 100% just a Wonderland guy that has the ability to bleed through. So he taps into the other guy who's probably another insider, and they just spew nonsense to keep you in circles.
But some of that nonsense is some pretty good stuff, man.
No, yeah, because they tell you a lot of really good things, but that's to draw you in so you
I
believe.
know you have to have discernment. That's why I say every now and then I'm like, I don't agree with what you just said. I mean, it happens, quite a bit actually. But damn it, some of that shit's just so good. But anyway, I
Yeah, some
digress.
of it is really good, and other of it,
Yeah,
their biggest deception is making you think that you have to wait for them to do something in order for
yeah,
you
because you really don't need it. I mean, basically, you listen to Bashar, you get some good information, spew out the bad. At the end of the day, you move on, and then you turn back inward again.
yeah, it's a good growing tool, but you just
Yeah,
can't
it's a
take
good growing tool. I mean,
You can't take it
But
like
you
personal to
eventually get
your
the
heart.
point where you're talking about. You just, it sucks. You have to turn inward, and
Yeah,
you
that's the
know,
only way you're
God
really.
said He wrote His moral law in our hearts.
He did. He put us
So
here with everything we need.
everything we need is inside of us. So you think He's gonna drop you off here and leave you astray? No, that doesn't happen. That God doesn't work that way.
But they've got everybody to stop listening to their heart and turn away from your heart. That's why they do nothing but push like
And it's even, I hate to say it in Christianity, I hear it over and over again. Wait for the Lord. Wait for the Lord. And then I'm like, are you really supposed to sit around and do nothing? Jesus Christ said there'll be those who do greater things than I. So we should be doing greater things than Jesus, not saying if we do something like Jesus, we're saying we're Jesus and have this whole ego complex. No, Jesus said
yeah.
it's going to happen. It's just,
Well, he himself said all of you can be like me.
if you can be like me, exactly. Like right now, he didn't say like, 2,000 years later. No, it's like now.
Yeah, and he tried to tell you you already have a connection in your heart. Focus on your heart so it starts glowing and your internal sun rises. That's your
Hmm.
connection.
Yeah.
Like
It's so
once
it's
that
so simple, and then what they do, they came along and made it all complicated. You have
yeah,
to
and they
do this. You have to do that. And Christians like, well, we're supposed to be prepared. We're supposed to be prepared for when the Lord comes. I go, okay, so you're supposed to sit around, do nothing, and be prepared and wait for the Lord, and then the Lord's going to come and save you. Hmm.
yeah. Well, why do you think people see him in their dreams? Because he's inside. You got to connect to him inside. Stop directing your prayers outside to Amun Ra, the Egyptian sun god, who actually is not really the nicest fella in the world.
Yeah, I
Uh,
have a no joke. Hopefully it's funny enough to tell. So basically, it came over the news that there's huge floods coming in and everyone should evacuate. And the friends are telling this guy, you should evacuate. It's like, oh no, the Lord will take care of me. And so anyway, they all leave. And then the sheriff comes and knocks on the doors. Come on, there's an evacuation. There's a flood coming. You gotta get out. He goes, oh, don't worry, the Lord will take care of me. And then so he leaves. And then later the flood comes, and the man starts to get up on his roof, and a boat comes by, and they're like, "Come on in the boat, we'll save you." And he goes, "Oh, don't worry, the Lord will save me." And he gets higher up on the roof. Then a helicopter comes by, and the helicopter's yelling down on the PA system, "Come on, we're looking lower ladder. We'll save you. We're lowering a ladder. We'll lower a ladder and save you." And the man goes, "Oh no, don't worry. The Lord will save me. Don't worry." And the water rises and rises, and the man drowns, and he dies and goes to heaven. And he says to God, "God, why didn't you save me?" He goes, "Well, I announced it on the news. I sent the sheriff to the door. I sent a boat for you, and then I finally sent a helicopter. What else do you want me to do?"
that's funny. Well, here's the thing, and I heard somebody say this, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is so true." Um, and this was actually like an ancient technique they used to do. They used to get, and before like everything went haywire, they used to get people to like, scream the color blue in your mind. Don't say it out loud, but scream it in your mind. And they're like, okay, well, you can hear it. There's a voice to it, but nobody else can hear it. But you can hear it. It's just as real as if you speak it. And then they say, okay, now I want you to see the color blue in your mind. And then the people will see it and they'll say, well, you can see it. It's just as real as if you saw it here. And then they say, where is your mind? And then people say, oh, I don't know. But that makes people realize that the real them is not here. You're not here. You have another you that's outside of here, and that's why you can like hear yourself scream, hear yourself do all sorts of things. Jesus knew this truth. He raised his internal son and he knew this truth. I mean, he was even more crazy, but I'm keeping it like basic stuff that like every human can do. Jesus was kind of special, as we all know, but he knew this truth, and that's why he was like, go ahead and beat my body up and do whatever you want, kill me, because I'm not here. I'm in the kingdom of heaven already. My body is just the vehicle I'm driving so I can experience here. He knew
True.
this.
Yeah. True.
And now they do everything they can to make you believe that this is it. Your body is you and this is it.
Hmm.
because that keeps you in fear, that keeps you controllable. They want to keep you pulled into this reality where we're basically their slaves.
Yeah, but now we can break free from the system. Well, yeah, maybe I know you're busy. You probably haven't heard my latest videos, but well, there's a lot of people, Allison Coe and other people, and Abba Wyman and myself. A lot of practitioners on the forum because I belong to QHHT practitioner forums, two of them. So there's a lot of buzz about how there's going to be this massive amount of energy coming in the next 3 months, if not tomorrow, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And when this happens, it's gonna flood this place with so much energy that the darkness can't hide. It'll have to flee, and then people, this fake TV screen that you see above us was going to disintegrate, and people will be
yeah,
able to look up and see reality for the first time. They're going to see that it's programmed, so they're going to go to the sixth dimension. So all of humanity will be able to rise up to the sixth dimension, and then we have a lot of folks in the seventh dimension standing guard to help those in the sixth, eighth running around, ninth and 10th. So it's a whole system that's in play. And then when we're going to bounce, I've been working, you know how we do missions, Brian. I've already did a few missions, bring in the energy,
yeah. It's
the
good.
10th dimensional beings, the Palladians and Arcturians, and all those guys. They got these huge orb ships, so I've been communicating with them. So
Yeah,
I already threw down a preloaded energy boost, and I loaded up all the ships. So all the ships are loaded, and locked and ready and ready, like they're locked and ready to go, full God, pure source God, pure energy. You know who I am, how my duty station I rearrange energy and I throw it down the wormhole. That's been done.
yeah,
I told you many, many months ago. If you remember, tell me if you don't. I said that I was done. I finished the programming. I did all the physics. I did all the math,
yeah.
and I programmed. Remember that? How long ago was that?
Um, it was probably like 1, maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say three, two, sure,
I
around
don't know.
there.
Time's been really weird for me, so I
So
haven't.
so anyway, a couple months ago, that's it. That's all that matters. So a couple months ago, I said I was done, and I threw down the energy, and then we have a pre-energy load. Like I said, all the ships are loaded, so they're ready to blast this place. Been pumping up Gaia and all that stuff, getting her going. Everyone's ready to go, Brian.
Yeah,
We're
no, I agree with
sorry,
you because
I haven't given you an update, so I
you don't need
apologize.
to. I've had such a huge hand in this, man. We're
So
connected
there,
through
I'm just giving you an update. So what's your update?
basically everything you just said. I have
So
a huge.
you concur, really? Because we haven't talked for this first time I told you.
Yeah, I have like you're describing everything that.
Oh,
Okay,
dude, this is what we have to do. We gotta get the trees energized, dude. That's a problem.
I've been working on that.
The trees are having a problem, dude. Major. There's like emergency, like 911. Everyone listening to this, Brian, let's give instructions right now. The trees need help. Brian, do you know how the trees need help? I'm not too sure. Do you know how they need help?
They need. Okay, people don't realize the power of their focus. If you focus, even if you just imagine that you're giving energy to the trees, like you're showing them love, you're picturing them, you're imagining the energy going through them, that has a lot more effect on reality than people realize.
Huge, huge. So we need everyone to focus on the trees, like Brian's saying. Go on, Brian.
Yeah, like I'll focus on the trees. See, my energy's a little
I
different.
want you to give everybody instructions right now. This is like an emergency. I'm for real. Like
Yeah,
the trees are crying out to me. I got this from a lot of different sources, Brian. And you know what I mean when I say a lot of different sources.
yeah, they
The
cry out to
trees
me
need help.
too.
Yeah.
You guys need to focus on them and actually just imagine and try to feel like you're giving energy, like you're showing them love. You know what I mean? Like you're giving energy to them. You can even like say it in your mind, try to picture it, even if you don't see it first, like right away. It's happening. You just can't see it yet. And same thing. I've been having to go around and do the same thing to like the oceans and the whales and the fish. It's just nobody spends time doing that stuff anymore.
Yes. Don't forget the whales and the dolphins
Oh, they're
and
huge. The
the
whales and
whales and the
dolphins.
dolphins and the porpoises and what else? The sharks. Everything needs help.
All of them. Like
That
I go
what about
through
sharks? Why did that feel so bad when I say that? What's up with sharks, dude?
because sharks get a bad rap
Because they
because
get a
of
bad rap. Do we need to clear up the rap of sharks and let them understand what they do to humanity and creation? Do you know, Brian? Can you talk about that?
they all have a vital role in creation. It's like the circle of it's all different energy frequencies and different they're part of the symphony. I mean, I can't really.
That's good enough for me. For those who don't know, I was sitting in person. This is not a dream. This is not lucid dreaming. I'm physically in the presence of my insiders who are hybrids, and they are in the habit of not telling me things. They don't answer questions, but so when they answer a question, it's extremely rare. One time I said to them, "Is it true what they say about the whales?" And they're like, "Uh-huh," because they like knew I was going to ask. I said, "Well, let me be clear. They say when the last whale dies, that all of life on Earth will die. Is that true?" I said, "Yes, it's true." And I said, "So what I heard was because they sing the song of creation, and they hold that vibration of creation. And when they stop singing the song of creation and they stop singing that vibrational frequency, it ceases to exist, and then therefore all of life on this planet exists. Is that true?" And for the third time, they said, "Yes, it's true.
Yeah, it's very true,
It's
and that's one of the
it's very true." So the whales, if in essence, are the number one importance. And we have an issue with the oceans and how the oceans are and their food supply. It tastes like I actually had a client who was a whale and gave us a report. The whales are reporting that the food tastes like crap and they're not getting the nutrients they need and they're dying and they're sick and the oceans are in total
yeah
dismay.
they're
You know,
poisoning everything.
the oceans are poisoned and the whales are not doing good. So I think by focusing on the trees will have an impact on the oxygen, which will somehow affect the ocean. And then the trees also go into the earth and can energize the water beneath. They can go in the earth and energize and give nutrient to the earth and energize the ocean from the underneath side, is what I'm thinking, is what the trees can do. And then also from the oxygen above. And by everybody focusing on the trees, we can get this beautiful energy flowing through the air to the earth beneath us, all throughout the oceans. And just picture this beautiful energy flowing through the water, cleansing it and cleansing it. So right now you can just feel this huge portal of energy. You're connected to true source God creator energy, and this energy flows from the top of your head down to the dirt beneath your feet and flows everywhere and goes through the waters of the oceans and all the seas. And you feel yourself just flowing everywhere and bathing everywhere, amplifying and glowing and like a little bomb you want to go kaboom with some love. So kaboom and just throw love everywhere. On the count of three, you're gonna feel more energy coming in from God, and it's gonna burst everywhere through all the oceans, throughout the water. Energy comes in. One, two, three. Boom! Just energy flowing all throughout the water, just purifying the water and cleansing the water. Do you feel that, Brian?
Yeah,
So we're cleansing the water this time. This is what Brian and I do. We go on missions together. We have phone calls and we like, hey, let's go do something. And this is what we do. And it's real. It may sound like make believe to people, but when you have these journeys together and you're, as I say, it's your thoughts, and your thoughts create reality. And because Brian and I we've been working together for so long, and we believe this to be true, and our higher selves are actually working together. When you hear us talking on a telephone, but in reality, we're kind of, I don't know, I'm at the eighth dimension. Where are you, Brian?
I don't even I don't know
Yeah,
where you.
I'm out there. So, if you're gonna work on cleaning the whole ocean. Anyway, I feel like I'm babbling. Go on, Brian.
Well, no, I've been working on it. Really, we have to do a lot of what the Native American people did. I love the Native American people and their teachings, and I actually think they got the shaft more than a lot. They really got the shaft, and that's because when the evil ones came in, they completely destroyed the Native American people. Remember the original teachings from when this place was built and the people got their instructions, and that's why they try to keep them like hidden in the corner and their teachings quiet. I don't even want to get into Native Americans, but I just want people to know that you should look into Native American teachings because those people knew what they were talking about. And
Well, let's talk about them for a moment, because I remember one time I was having a conversation with somebody who was a subscriber of mine that I met in person actually. So we're in person having this conversation. She turned out to be a Native American Indian, and she talked about how they would sit in teepees in circles, the elders, and then and then there's another ring behind them, and they had like three rings, and they sat in three rings and had these like group meditations and these like vision quests and or
yeah,
whatnot, and they all were actually tapping into another dimension and doing stuff. It was real.
yeah, they were affecting reality
Yeah, they're affecting reality.
from up
But
there.
then, unfortunately, the white man came in with and gave them blankets full of smallpox or whatever.
Yeah, they destroyed them. And one of the biggest threats is, they could burn books and do all sorts of stuff. But the Native Americans, all their teachings are by word of mouth. So they couldn't destroy what those people know and what their teachings are. So instead, they shun them and put them away. Because the Native Americans, one, they know Earth is living. I mean, Earth is alive and we're
Yeah, yeah.
destroying it. Two, they know the importance, like, they would only take down certain trees. They would only use from the earth what they treated the earth like it was a living being, which
Because
it
it
is.
is. It is.
Because it is. And they know when you stop treating the earth like it's a living being, after a while, you get a lot of problems. Like you're going to get more storms, more everything. And that's what we're seeing. The Native Americans knew a ton because if you think about it, they were over in America when everything was going down on these other continents and they burned all the books and they got people kind of into their system. So America was kind of untouched. So when they came over here, the Native Americans still had original teachings that went back further than
The true.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the people that we should be screaming should be out in the open and sharing their knowledge instead of us shutting them down. I just have a really deep thing in me for Native American people. I'm
Yeah.
not even Native American, but I kind of know a lot more of the truth now, and I've read a lot of their stuff. And same thing if you go into like a lot of the really ancient African tribes that were untouched, they preach the same stuff about the earth. Like any of these really ancient people.
It's all
But
true.
no, we're we've all been deceived into this system that they set up that's like destroying the earth out from right under us.
Well, that's the other thing. My hybrid insiders confirmed. I said, "Is this a dying planet?" And they said yes.
Oh
And
yeah,
then Lynn actually apologized.
that's
They
their
said
goal.
well, we should have worked on the planet sooner. We didn't realize it was so in disarray. We're working on the atmosphere. If we succeed on that, which we're not too hopeful at that point in time, this is going back, I don't know, 3 years, 2 years,
Mm,
probably 2 years ago, maybe a year, more than a year, put it that way, more than a year ago. They're going to work on the atmosphere, and then after that, they try to work on the oceans, and then try to revitalize the planet. And they were apparently, and I would check up on them every now and then. They're actually telling the truth. They're working overboard trying to, save the
yeah, they're
atmosphere.
trying to, but they really want to lead people to this fake 5D place. It's not the real one; it's the fake one. I've been there, and this place is the most controlled place you
Not
would.
not to be confused with the real fifth dimensional Earth.
Yeah, no, not to be confused with the real
There
one. But
really is one that's been there the whole time since the beginning.
yeah, and they don't want you to get there. They want you to go to this place that they've secretly been setting up for a very
Well,
long time.
basically, I talked about this. And there was a fifth dimensional Earth where the giants and the elves and everybody lived, and that's the one that Anu and the Anunnaki went to. And Anu convinced her, start taking over 5D Earth, and convinced everybody that they had to become hybrids and come to this Earth. And he tricked everybody to come here. But
Yeah,
meanwhile, 5D Earth, they was is still there, and it's beautiful, and all the animals telepathic, and there's humans there. 2 billion humans are there. 2 billion humans escape from this planet.
yeah, yeah.
So 2 billion escape to the real 5D Earth, and they don't eat animals, and they live in a community, and it's all peace and harmony and kumbaya there. But we're volunteers, and so that's why you and I are here, Brian.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, yeah. I'm probably gonna be here to the end. Jeez.
I don't know what's going on with me. I'm becoming.
Well, I don't know when you're getting out of here, but I'm pretty much in for the long haul, I think. So.
I don't know. I mean, I have a very particular.
Well, basically, there's the last higher self I talked to. I think it was on Saturday. So this is on Saturday, just a few days ago. Said that he sees it could happen in three ways, getting to the true fifth dimensional Earth, depending on the consciousness of the planet. But it could take 5 ways. So there's going to be at least three more waves of people escaping. Some, but they don't. Nobody notices when they leave. That's the trippy thing.
No, because reality like
Reabsorbs and makes them gone. And
it resets, and that's kind of one
hmm
of the reasons for the Mandela effect. Because
yeah, reset. I think a better word is it just reality resets. Really.
yeah, reality is kind of being built second by second by the builders.
Well, yeah, that happens.
It's well, I mean that's not exactly how it works, but it's
It's
kind
hard
of
to describe. Yeah,
yeah. It's like
but the point is, there's going to be at least three more ways, maybe five, and then we're gonna do a lockdown on this place. We're just gonna lock it down. Whatever's left will just disintegrate because it won't be connected to True Source God Creator. So whatever artificial intelligence is left that can keep the thing pumping with life, probably for around another billion years maybe. But we're just gonna lock it down and let the thing die out. It'll probably take a billion years.
I say we leave all the people here that
Well, I mean, in order to move to fifth dimensional Earth, you have to match that vibrational frequency, which means you have to be
yeah,
a certain way, and
which they're not doing, which is
they
why
don't want to. I mean, it's like asking us to resonate with their frequency. We don't want to do that.
they want to trick people to jump into machines. Anybody, okay, anybody that wants to live here in reality the way
Wait a
this
second, Cody. Where are you going? All right, here. Let me hit mute 1 second. Sorry about that. Go on.
no, but I always laugh. They push this whole thing like they want to live forever and they're trying to like suck all these people in with them. The whole AI thing, download your consciousness into a machine. That's all because they're trying to avoid their judgment. They're trying to look, anybody that wants to live in this reality under this terms, under those people for eternity are out of their minds. Do you know how insane this place would be if like we had in these circumstances we had nothing to lose, like we were going to live forever? We'd be going nuts.
Well, they want to keep it going forever. Yeah. That's their plan, of course.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, keep it
I'm
going
just saying
forever.
I cannot believe people are buying into it, but they probably haven't
Well,
seen.
I mean, if you're promised a good life, why not? You buy into it.
Yeah, it won't
You,
be the good
you,
life.
you can't blame them. Seriously, come on. You got fucking $20 million. You got the good life. I mean, with that kind of money, everybody's your slave. You get to live in the most wonderful places, see the most beautiful places on earth,
Yeah.
travel in jets. I mean, they're living the good life. I mean, it's already happened to them. I mean, you can't really blame them for wanting to continue, can you? You have to
No,
understand
I
your
don't
enemy.
understand
You
it.
know, you're too busy getting pissed off.
Yeah.
You just understand your enemy, and you have to come to understanding, and you have to appreciate it, and you have to say, "Come on, Brian. There's smart motherfuckers. They did some crazy ass shit.
Oh my God, I give him. I try to give him
They're so
credit.
fucking smart. Come on. They
The
learned how to
stuff that,
they learned how to split dimensions. Come on.
yeah,
Do you know what kind of mastery it takes to split a dimension and create they split the eighth dimension and they created the ninth and the tenth. They created the ninth and tenth dimension, Brian.
oh my
I
God, they're
mean, come
brilliant.
on.
Not only that,
And then they created a relay system. So when it went back to God, it went unnoticed. So they did the first mastery splice and dice job, and they did it beautifully.
yeah, and not only that,
And then they tapped into the freaking center symbol with the Aleister Crowley thing. Then they figured out the center symbol. And then
yeah.
they tapped into the four forces of the universe. They learned to manipulate that. I mean, come on, these guys have done some incredible work.
Well, no, I always think that I don't agree with them. Even their levels of deception is so brilliant. Like they'll sometimes they'll like make jokes and stuff to me that are like they're completely evil and horrible, but when I like am aware and figure out the joke, I'm like, "Oh my God, that was so brilliant." Or how they deceive. It's so people don't understand the level of the way they did everything when you piece it together was absolutely brilliant. Really on a level of thinking that 90% of the humans here are not at yet. Well, not 90%, but a lot.
You know, they said to me many times, if you only understood the math, it's all
Yeah.
math to them, Brian. It's not even physics. But what's physics grounded in math? It's all math. It's
Yeah.
math to them. The whole universe. Think, what's a computer? What's artificial intelligence? It's math. Everything is math to them.
Yeah. And some of the ancient artificial intelligence, like layered stuff all over this place so that a lot of it really has become math.
Well, it's a lattice work of math.
Yeah, it is. And it's like a,
It's technology. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's coming from God. I'm just saying they're not connected to God, so they had to create an artificial system, and they created one hell of an artificial system. They
yeah,
really
brilliant.
the lattice work, the architecture that went into it is pure mastery.
It is. It's absolutely brilliant. And then they needed people to be the workers. So they tricked people into their great little area.
Well, now it's time for that to end. So it's going to be revealed what they've done to us, and we'll know. And
We are making progress. Like I was telling you the other night, they were starting, usually they're like really complete a-holes and in your face and doing stuff. The other night they were running. They were starting to run. They were running from something. We were just sitting there happy, but they were running. We were watching them run,
mm,
which was interesting. And the one guy told me how they messed up and opened up. They were getting desperate, so they opened up a door that they normally wouldn't, and it was creating a storm.
mm.
Just crazy stuff. I've been through so much because of being taken places every night. I mean,
It gets
sometimes,
annoying. Yeah.
yeah, I love when I go to cool places and I get um, past a lot of the stuff, but then other nights, like tonight, honestly, because I made this recording with you, they'll probably find a way to come get me and do something ridiculous. But I don't even care. I really, at this point, I don't care because I know that I don't know. What they do really doesn't matter. And that's the secret they don't want you to know.
Well, I talked about that once, because we have our higher selves that are always working, and they come and grab our soul. It's kind of like, well, so what? We're still connected to our higher self, and our higher
Yeah.
selves are doing the real work. You know, so it doesn't matter if they grab you. Your higher self's still doing the work. That's the joke. See, Brian, they're diverting all their resources on attacking our souls when they should be really going after our higher selves, but they can't do that, so they're left trying to Mickey Mouse around with us, and all they're doing is diverting a mass amount of energy and resources to trying to take our souls to these different places. So we're actually burning up their resources. We're exhausting their resources, which is funny. If you really think about it. You there, Ryan? I think I lost Brian. Well, I lost Brian, and I think we've talked long enough. So hopefully you've enjoyed this conversation. And as I always says, as the sun sets and the sun rises, it doesn't matter what your belief or religion is. Come to that quiet, peaceful place and let's focus on true source God creator. Just let that energy flow through you and emanate and shine like a pillar of light all over the world. Till next time, God bless everybody. Peace and be well.